Welcome, boys. Okay, in this video we're going to be doing emergency brake cable replacement. We're going to do the two rear cables, not the intermediate or the front cable. So when we had the shop pull out that super stuck O2 sensor, I had them diagnose why the emergency brake was not working. They claimed the two rear cables are bad. That's all they said. They only diagnosed it, didn't actually charge me for it. I guess they expected me to pay them to get it fixed, which I had every intention of doing that day. Except A, they couldn't get all the cables in. Apparently I could only get one. And B, they wanted to charge like almost $400 for that. It's like, it looks like it's going to be $80 for one cable, $100 and something for another cable, 1.5 hours of labor, it's like 300 something, almost $400. I'm like, oof. You know what? I'll come back at my own convenience, which is code for I'll do it myself. So, we have our two rear cables in. One of them is the driver's side, one's the passenger side. I won't know yet until I pull one off. We'll do the driver's side first, since that one's already kind of off for us, as we'll see in a bit. Now, this Haynes manual makes this look significantly easier than I imagine it's going to be. Its procedure is simply disconnect this little thing from the thing via a clip. Guess I'm going to need a pick. I can grab one of those. I grabbed only a handful of twos, but whatever. I'll go back in and grab one if I need a pick. Okay. And then you pull it loose from where it attaches to the brake disc back here. Bam. There's a little hook and that comes out. And then you just pry it loose from the intermediate and then you're off. So how this takes 1.5 hours, I don't know, especially if it's as easy as this says it is, unless this is misleading, and it's actually going to be significantly difficult. But my life's never easy, so I imagine it's going to be a bitch, so we shall see. But we'll meet you under the car, and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, so we're under the beast. As you can see over here, someone's already disconnected that. We need to get it out of there. As I say, there's some clip and then lift it forward so I can kind of see the clip. So I will need to pry that out with a pick or something. Pull forward, slide it out, and then if you follow the cable, you can pull it forward through here. And then it appears the left cable is on top. And okay, so this thing is going to have to be, I'm not sure, is there a clip that holds this in, or am I going to have to rotate this to get it out? Yeah, it's rusted like a motherfucker though, that's all I know. Damn. Alright, well, we'll figure that out and then I'll let you know how the hell I get this thing out of here. And then it looks like the right rear is the one on the bottom with this weird looking spring guy that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Is it supposed to be out in the middle of nowhere? I mean, I guess. I don't fucking know. Looks like I might be able to just easily pull this down from here too. Get a better view on the top of what we're doing. Well, that's how the other cable's routed. Goes over above the axle, over into that side. So we'll get her done. And while I'm under here, I can also do the differential fluid. But I can anticipate already that's going to be a bitch, because it looks like some fool has already done this, or if I'm lucky, all he did was like RTV a spot where there might have been a leak, and hopefully he was lazy and only RTV'd the outside of it. I'm really hoping that that cover's not a bitch to get off, because some fool RTV'd it on instead of put a freaking gasket on it. But, you know, nothing's ever easy. Screw you, Ford, for not putting a drain plug on this thing. Alright, well, on with the emergency brake cable. Okay, I've actually got it all installed. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I will give you guys a few pro tips here. Alright, so thing number one is your new cable kit actually comes with this piece and this piece already in there. So don't do what I did and disconnect it from this end, because then when you get the new one, you'll have to disconnect it from the new one of these and then put it in here, and so now you've just done extra work. So disconnect it from this side, and then that way you can just pop the new one in, and then you're golden. Now that said, as we follow back, this original one had one long piece here, and these have these little individual pieces, which I don't like because this cable is actually rubbing up against that low spot right there. So I think what I'll do is I'm just going to duct tape these up, make this one piece, and then that way that'll take care of that. In addition to that, this part, so here's how this works. When this spring, okay, so you pull this down, and then you can pull and stretch the spring out or in. The further out the spring is, the more tension this cable has on it. The more in together this is, the less tension this cable has on it. So right now I've got it like maximum tension, so you barely touch the pedal inside the car, and you're already at like maximum resistance. So with that said, from there, it's a matter of just running the cables back where they were. And I'll do my best to document that in these close quarters here. So you'll see you've got the two cables, the one up above, and then this one, if you can even see the one above. Yeah, kind of my finger here. So you can see the one above, and then this one coming out of here where the adjuster is. And then after you get into adjustment, you just slide this back up in place. But then this cable runs a short distance, and it is, apologize for these close angles, but there's not a lot of room under here. That one's going to run the long distance here that goes up over the top of the differential and onto the other side. And it should be noted, these things are actually secured with a nut, or a bolt rather. I believe it's a 10 millimeter. Take that off, and then this expands. You can take that out, so you'll have to do one on this side, and there's also one on the other side, but it goes through there. It clips into these two guys, one on each side of the differential, runs over here, clips into another one of those 10 millimeter guys that clamps down on it, and then runs into the emergency brake shoes in the rotor there. And then, of course, the other cable, this much shorter one, which is the one you can't see all that well, but this guy, it's by the spring that holds it up in place here. That one is the very short one that runs over here. Okay, now that I'm not squashed up against the ground, so as this runs through here, there's a little clip that'll hold it in place. A C-clip, as some may call it. That'll keep this cable from sliding in and out, and it just runs through here, and then affixes here. Now, we do have a problem. And that problem is, as I started pressing on the emergency brake, and I noticed it was very tensiony, the car was still rolling everywhere. So I go, huh, maybe the brake shoes are out of adjustment. Some jack-off took the emergency brake hardware and shoes completely out of here. There is no emergency brake. Nothing. It's gone. So, we'll be making an advanced auto part run here shortly, because I had the wife pick me up the shoes, being the nice person she is from AutoZone. So she got me the shoes for each side, and I go to pull these wheels off, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, because I just thought maybe they were out of adjustment. I'm like, oh, well, if they're out of adjustment, not a big deal. I'll just buy new ones, because why the hell not? And then here, there's like nothing in here at all, so now I need the hardware. So there's an advanced auto parts right down the road. We're going to go pick those up, the hardware, and then now this video has devolved into this is how you adjust your deal and replace your cables if you need to I probably never needed to replace the cables anyway, and now I have to go and get hardware and shoes to replace the parking brake because there wasn't one here ever. So we're gonna go do that, and then yeah, so this video is now devolved into how you replace your rear emergency brake cables and parking brake. But that's okay, at least now we can actually put this thing in park and apply the emergency brake if need be. Or leave it neutral and apply the emergency brake, since we have to start it neutral all the time to avoid an engine light. But whatever. Also, while you're here, this is also a good time to make sure you don't have wheel bearings that are bad. No, mine are good. Alright, and that's both sides. So, okay. See you in a bit. Okay, so here's what our new kit came with. Came with 4 of these things. 4 of these things. Some grommets that I won't be using. 2 of these big weird springs. 2 of these fairly symmetrical springs. 2 of these things. 2 of these things. 2 of these things. Now here's what I got. So the best I can figure is this is how this thing goes down. So on the bottom, you're going to want to put this side, this kind of got a big hook on the end, and the top's going to be this notched end. Okay, it's going to be the same here and here. Now, I've got the bottom spring hooked into here. Okay, there's a little hole there. After you get it in this, it's a little notch there. This spring rests on top of all this hardware, the lever. Goes under the ring. And then there it is, the other end of the spring going through that hook. So that's how I have it. Managed to get these things, the long pokey guys. They go through the back, pointing out here. Then you have to compress this stupid C-clamp, C-clip deal. Rotate this 90 degrees until it locks in that notch. And then I have this spring on the backhand side, and then the adjustment here. So, now our shoes are in place. I'm going to put the rotor on, and since we're neutral, we'll see if we have any drag. And we want a little bit of drag, but not much. And then we can adjust as needed. And then when we apply the parking brake, it should keep the rotor still. So let's check it out. Okay, boys. So we got both sides on now. Everything's adjusted. And now we'll go ahead and see what we got doing. So it's in neutral. I've just got these 2 lugs on to kind of hold the rotor on so the shoes can grab it. So it spins, but you can hear a slight drag. That's right where you want it. Go ahead and put the emergency brake on. Alright, brake's on. Survey says, ugh, hey! Well, I can still move it a little by hand. I shouldn't move it all. Alright, well that's easy enough then. It's working. So really I just got to pull this back off and either adjust my shoes. Although I don't think I'd really need to adjust that, because that's, I mean, you can hear it slightly dragging, so I really just need to adjust the cable a little more from underneath. So, alright, that's it. That's how we put freaking brake shoes on for the emergency brake when somebody took them completely off, including the hardware, and put new brake cables on. So, should do it for now. Now I can actually, you know, use an emergency brake should I have to. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.